Hey everybody, welcome back to Darvanalee Designs Studio. For those that don't know, my name's Nicole Reed and today we're here for some Stitch With Me. We're working on Coffee Cafe from Snow Village, so let's get started. Well, good morning or good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for taking some time out of your day and spending it with me while I do a little bit of stitching today and a little bit of a Reno update as well. All right, so we are working on Iced Coffee Cafe by Snow Village. I'm doing this as one entire piece, and each week I will be showing you all the things that I want to do. All right, so you probably would have seen a poll going up, went up on the community tab, and we do have a very clear winner, and you will get to see that in my next video. But for right now, I've got a couple more of these videos that I'm going to do with Snow Village, of course, because we want to see it come to fruition. But we're probably going to rotate through once. I'm going to leave the voting open for a couple more days, but yeah, so once we've got a clear winner, then I will definitely be doing all the things with that particular chart. All right, let's get this out of the way and get some stitches in. So I haven't worked on this since last week, so we're just going to continue on putting in some red and getting the house finished. It's a little bit like my library. That has been a little bit of a slow process this week, but we are getting there, which is super good. We've put color down and all the things, so that's pretty amazing. And yeah, I'm really happy with how it's turning out. Savannah's really happy with how it's turning out. We've still at the time of filming this, we still have a couple more days of painting to go, but it is coming together, which is absolutely fabulous. And I just can't wait to start moving my books and everything in. I have my fingers crossed that Savannah will still be here when we pull all the books off the bookshelf and put the books in. I think I'm just going to probably leave them how they are on the bookshelves and get them in there. I do have an extra 2 shelves. Is it 2? Yeah, I've got an extra 2 shelves that I've just got to clear some stuff off and bring them in. So hopefully they'll fit in there. We measured it out and we're pretty sure that they'll all fit in there. So the only thing is we're going to have to maybe cull some books. So yeah, we'll see how we go. Because Savannah will ultimately end up with this library. So basically what I'm thinking is that we'll get rid of books that, like, because we're 2 separate people and we go shopping separately and all that sort of stuff. And sometimes we inadvertently end up with the same book on the shelf. So it might be a case, if I've got the series, then she can get rid of the book off her shelf and cash it in at the book exchange and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'm going to do a bit of that, which will be good because that'll lighten the load a little bit. All right, so hopefully you've got a cuppa. Don't forget to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you're working on. I have my coffee, which is absolutely fabulous. Love my coffee first thing in the morning. Excuse me. I'll tell you, this is not like this room, just to get it back so the walls were nice and all that sort of stuff. It took a lot of work, but it's been well worth it. I will do the reveal and everything for it. Patreon will actually get all the behind the scenes stuff. That behind the scenes stuff generally doesn't go up on the public channel, but if you want to see the process of us putting the library together from start to finish, even down to selection of paint and all that sort of stuff, maybe head over to the Patreon and check it out, because there's a lot of content. It has been a long time coming, though. We've been wanting to do it for quite some time. We've had all the stuff here, but it's just been having the same timetables. And that's the tricky thing. But we've worked around it, which has been absolutely fabulous. So today I'm going to spend about 30 minutes with you, getting some more stitches in. I find that the 30-minute videos are really good, a good length for people. And it's a great way to, we've got many Stitch With Me's on here. So if you're looking to get some motivation or something like that, you can go back and watch some of my previous videos. And if you're looking for some like ideas of what I should stitch on next, and you don't want to participate in the poll, but you'd just like to have your opinion, that is also welcome down below. You can drop that in the comments. And if you're not sure what charts I've got, I have pretty much covered a lot of charts in my floss tube, so you can always go back and watch some of my floss tubes. I haven't put one out for a while because I've lost my stitching mojo, and I'm trying to not force it myself, so I don't, so I get frustrated or whatever, and then I end up going, you know what, I'm not doing any of it, I don't care anymore, and all that sort of stuff. So I'm just slowly edging myself back into stitching, and you never know, there might be a floss tube at some stage. All the ones I picked out at the beginning of the year that I wanted to work on, I haven't put any stitches into them. So I need to get a wiggle on, but as I said, I'm being gentle on myself, and I'm just letting it organically flow. Like crafts like that, we get into these crafts and all the rest of it, and then it ebbs and flows. So but sorry, I just stopped talking. Oh dear me. Oh, I think it's going to be one of those days. Feeling a little bit vague today. I'm really happy with the progress that I've been making with all the quilts and all that sort of stuff. It's been absolutely wonderful. I feel like a sense of achievement, like I've been doing quilting for so long, and I've had all these whips and everything like that, and it's just like, it's so nice to just finally have a direction and getting the stuff done. I haven't quilted them yet, but at least I've got the tops done, so there's not little bits of fabric floating around everywhere and projects and all that sort of stuff. So that's sort of my thinking process behind it, and yeah, it's working really well. Although I keep sort of finding stuff, and I'm like, oh, I forgot about that one. Oh, I forgot about that one. And then I've also got all the block of the months and all that sort of stuff, which is very, very frustrating, to say the least. And yeah. Oh, it's so pretty. It's just coming together. I love this red. I really, this was just the best choice. And it's called, I'm pretty sure it's called Cherry Tomato. Let me just have a look here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's called Cherry Tomato by Classic Colourworks. Yeah, Cherry Tomato. There it is. By Classic Colourworks. So it's such a pretty colour. Like, it's very, very pretty. The camera doesn't do it any justice. Like, it's got such a nice variegation in it. I just absolutely love it. It was the best colour choice of the chart. And it doesn't matter, like, you've used the same one, but you get, like, from skein to skein, you get a little different variegation and whatnot with it, which is great. Like, it just gives it that little bit more depth. What have I been watching on TV? I've been still watching Chicago Med and 2.5 Men. Other than that, I haven't really been watching too much. I haven't watched any true crime or anything like that. I haven't even really listened to any true crime either. So interesting enough. But I have been reading some good books. Read a lot of great books in June. I haven't really, like, I've just been continuing on. Well, I started Poppy Wars this week, which I'm still just in the beginnings of that, so I don't really have much of an opinion on that just yet, by R.F. Kuang. And back in March, I actually went to a night with R.F. Kuang and learnt a lot more about her and her style of writing and how she, her process and all that sort of stuff. And I got signed copies of the actually all the books I have from R.F. Kuang, which is all of her books: Yellow Face, Babel, or Babel, depending where you are in the world, and the Poppy War trilogy. And of course, she's got new books coming out as well this year. I think at the November, I think she's got a new book coming out. So, was it November next year? I can't remember now. So yeah, so I'll definitely get that as well. But I'm sort of taking it easy in July with the reading and everything, because the simple fact is I had a huge month in June doing a readathon. It was absolutely mammoth. And I just don't think I could have done another one. But I do enjoy doing the readathons. They're a lot of fun. So let me know in the comments what you've been working on. Oh, got an itch. What you've been working on in the last week. Have you gone anywhere? Because I know a lot of people are on summer break. Have you done anything? Gone on holidays? Seen family? Obviously, you've celebrated 4th of July for those in the United States. Hope you had a wonderful holiday. Just grab a sip of coffee. That's good. Getting a little bit slippery. I think these will be the last 3 stitches I'll get in with this. It's getting very close to feeling like it's going to pull out, and I really don't want to play thread chicken today. Drives me mental when I do that, because I never win. I never ever win. I've been reading quite a number of NetGalley arcs, which are advanced reader copies for those that don't know what they are. And I read a really interesting book the end of June. It was called it's by Ray Fryer, I think her name is, or Frey. And as new to me author, I've never heard of her before, but yeah, it was a really good book. You know that movie Sliding Doors with Gwyneth Paltrow in it? I've never watched it. I have seen the trailer, and my best friend, she watched it. She absolutely loved it and raved about it, so I felt like I never really had to watch it. Just excuse me for a moment while I just cross some of these things off. And yeah, I never felt like I had to watch it because I sort of knew everything. She just went on about it all the time. And that, but basically the premise is that, you know, I think the trailer, like, she's going to get onto a train and the door closes, so she misses the train, and then we get that timeline. And then the other one was where she gets on the train. If I remember correctly, something like that. Anyway, and how her life was different. So you got this parallel things. Anyway, this book is like that. It's called The Other Year. by Ray Frey, I think her last name is how you pronounce it. And yeah, so there's, why has this got an odd number? Oh, I wonder why I've done that. Should have 6 in it, but it's only got 5. Weird. I must have pulled one out. Sorry, just muttering to myself there. And basically, it was quite an emotional book to read. Like, it was very interesting how it was done. So basically, we've got the main female character, and she is a single parent, and she's got I think she's 9 years old, the daughter, and so she is. It's summertime. They're going on vacation. She's meeting up with her best friend. Is a guy, Jason, and her name's Kate or Catherine. She gets called both in the book. And he was married to her best friend, and then subsequently they become best friends. And so basically she is excuse me. So she goes on her summer vacation, and she gets there before Jason and his daughter turn up. And Jason's wife passed away from cancer several years ago, and they have been best friends ever since. They've been through thick and thin together and whatnot. And she feels like she's getting feelings for Jason. So basically, she heads off. They're going to meet up. They're going to spend 2 weeks at the resort and all that sort of stuff. So she's there beforehand, and she's got an ex-partner, her ex-husband, who absolutely adores her and her daughter, but he's a bit of a nomad, and he's an archaeologist. And so he has, not been around, hasn't been the best of being present and all that, but still, still a good dad and all that sort of stuff, but not great at being present because he's a bit nomadic. And he is also Mexican, and so there's the family heritage and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, she goes on this holiday, and we've got these 2 timelines. And basically, the first timeline, she's there, she's by herself, she's down on the beach, and her husband Michael texts her, and she looks down for just a moment and takes her eyes off her daughter, and basically when she looks back up again, she can't see her daughter anymore. She's missing, and anyway, it turns out that the worst actually happened, and her daughter drowned. And so we go through that timeline of her trying to come to terms with that and heal from that. I mean, realistically, there's probably no coming back from that, and I can't even imagine. And so we get this raw, and this was an audio book that I got an advanced reader copy of, and it actually came out last year, but I didn't get to it last year. And it's just, the narrator just puts so much emotion into that tragedy and all that sort of stuff. So we've got that timeline, and then we've got this other timeline where the drowning didn't happen, and Jason turned up, and she's pursuing that relationship of going a little bit further and all that sort of stuff. And of course, we've got the ex-husband is also playing, and he's thinking about, because they didn't really break up for any bad reason. It was just that she wanted to settle after she had the baby, and he wanted to keep working and doing what he loved. And so they couldn't agree. So she decided that it was better that they got divorced, and then he could go and do whatever he wanted, basically. But yeah, the 2 timeline things, when it first started, I'm like, oh, I didn't realize it was like this. I knew it was a dual timeline because it did say it was a dual timeline, but I didn't realize it was the same characters in each timeline. So yeah, and you work through the book, and you're going through all the emotions with Kate, and what's going on and how she's feeling and all that sort of stuff. And at the same time, she is still having these, like in both timelines, she's having these feelings for Jason and stuff like that, but he wants more, but she doesn't in the grief one. So in that first timeline, you've got themes of like grief and loss and rage and conflicting romances and stuff like that. And in the second timeline where nothing happened, you've got the romance and you've got the competing ex-husband and the best friend and all these things and the problems she's having with her daughter and all that sort of stuff. So she's going through all the angst with her daughter and whatnot, whereas that had been all ripped away from her in the first one. Now, you're probably thinking, well, how do you keep it straight? The author, like, I thought this was going to be hard to keep straight, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know about this, like, I don't know if this is a good fit and all the things, but as I got into the book, I realized I wasn't getting confused between the two timelines, because we're going through the season, so it's a whole year that we're going through. Currently, we're sitting in winter, so we started in summer, we've had fall, and I've finished the book, but the one where it stood out the most was when we went into winter, where she had started to really heal. She'd left for work and ended up on a farm, and basically so she was really starting to heal, but then she felt there was another guy that came into it, the guy on the farm, and she felt like she was getting close to him and whatnot, but then something happened and she felt like she was betrayed by that, and so that played out, and like it was just really well done. The author like tells you which timeline you're in as well at the beginning of each chapter and each timeline, so it's really easy to stay in the moment. It's like having two stories working alongside one another, and I just think the author did a fabulous job of it, because as I said, I was really concerned that I was not going to enjoy it, for one, and two, that it was going to be a little bit tricky to keep track of everything. But I didn't find that at all. So I was pretty happy with that. Excuse me. So yeah, I was really, really happy with how that all worked out. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what else this author writes in the future. I gave it 4 stars. I wasn't a 5-star read, but I gave it a 4-star rating, and so I really, really enjoyed that aspect of it, which was great. I'll tell you one thing, renovating and working at the same time, I don't know how people do it. Like, I am so tired, because I crash real hard. Like, I do the work with, been doing the work with Savannah and all that sort of stuff, and then at the end of the day, I unwind for an hour, I'm in bed early, and then I sleep for a solid 4 hours. Like, I just crash 4 or 5 hours, then I'm wide awake. The problem with that, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. And it's like, oh, I can't get up. So I sort of lay there and just rest my eyes until I'm like, this is ridiculous. I just need to get up. So in the last couple of, and it's winter as well, so it's cold. And of course my body, like, doesn't do it in summer. It does do it in summer. It's no different. But I'm just like, it's winter. Let me just sleep until the sun comes out and not get up at 3 o'clock in the morning when it's absolutely freezing. And I just sort of don't want to lay there, and like, I will for a little while. Like, I'll just sort of roll over, close my eyes, and sometimes I'll drift off back to sleep a couple of hours later and I'll get a couple of extra hours, but it's not great for the motivation. All that sort of stuff. According to all the things, it's a menopause thing, so it's just, I mean, I can deal with that. As I said, I haven't had the hot flushes. There's been a lot of positives that have come out of my menopause journey. There's been some negatives too, but majority, I've lost the headaches. Yay. Because I used to get headaches all the time with my cycle. And so I've lost those. So that was like a cause for celebration, of course. And yeah, but the sleeping thing, driving me mental. I mean, I'm not a good sleeper anyway, but still, I don't like it. I feel like I'm being forced awake by nature. And it's like, I'm not liking this. All right. Let me have a go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. I'm pretty sure I can get rid of that. There's my scissors. All right. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, the start of a door. Gotta love it when it all sort of starts taking shape. They're so cute, these little houses. I love them. I did have a question the other day. Someone was asking me, like what is my process and all that sort of stuff for setting up. They must be thinking about setting up a channel or whatever. They didn't really say what was going on. It was just an random email that I got. And they sort of asked me like my process of organizing stuff and getting stuff out and all that sort of stuff. I mean, I'm pretty consistent for the most part. This year's probably been my least consistent year, and I'm not entirely sure why that is. I've been doing this for 5 years now, and losing my stitching mojo too has not helped with motivation. So there's been a bit of that, but they asked me sort of like what I do to prep for the coming month, and how do I decide and all that sort of stuff. Like, I have asked people to help me with things like content, what you want to see and all that sort of stuff. I generally don't get much of a response with that sort of stuff. Like, I could ask every week and I'd be lucky to even get a comment on it. Excuse me for a second, just gonna have a drink of my cuppa. But they asked me what my process was, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. I just sort of sit down and I have a look at what I've got on the whip table, like that's for this year, and then I sort of just incorporate it in. But then I thought about it, and I'm like, well, I have calendars, and a lot of them, when everything is going up and what I've got scheduled and all that sort of stuff. So I have a filming schedule calendar, and I just put everything that I think that I'm going to be working on, I'll put into that. And if I miss something, I don't beat myself up about it, because sometimes you just need to rest and take your time and do the things that you need to do for yourself. And so that was probably the only, and that's what I think I said to this person. It was the best advice I can give you is, don't forget, you're the one that set the rules. You're the one that set your schedule. And if that schedule's not working for you, it's okay to change it. And if you're tired, rest, because if you keep pushing through, you will burn out. And I haven't heard back from them, but hopefully that little tidbit of advice helped them. But yeah, I never really thought about it, like my process or anything before, which was quite interesting to get a question like that, because it opens you up for, thinking about how you actually do things. I've got a bit of a dry throat today. That's why I'm drinking so much. I don't know why, probably from all the sanding, and whatnot, so... Looks cute. So we're getting a little door there. Love it. Love it, love it. I've just got to make sure that I'm doing it right so we don't get a wonky door. Because who wants a wonky door, right? So cute. All right. down to the end. Where do I go? Down to here. Yep. Cool. Yep. Come up the wrong hole then. Yeah, so that's all I can really say about my process. I just sit down, like usually the last week of the month, I just sit down. I spend it probably half a day to a day planning out, shuffling things around, and all that sort of stuff. And I try to do everything on a Monday to Friday. I do have, things for Patreon and stuff that happen on weekends and whatnot, but that sort of rotates around a little bit too. Because it just makes it easier. To rotate around so everybody can sort of catch me on a live and stuff like that. Well, we've had a pretty productive morning. It looks like we're going to have a little house, all the red finished today. Don't forget to let me know what you're reading on. Oh, got a bit of a knot there. There we go. That came out pretty easy. Gotta love it when that happens and it comes out nice and easy. I get frustrated as heck when it happens on the back and you can't get it undone. Very, very frustrating. I hope I'm not getting a cold. Like this is... Excuse me. I do apologise for that. But you can sort of hear my throat. Like it's very dry, very scratchy today. Yeah, we were talking about it the other day with, like when Mia was here, she used to spread her germs around like nothing else, right? And it was so frustrating. I'd get sick all the time because she'd just sneeze on me and all, being the primary caregiver, she'd sneeze on me and like do all the gross things that kids do. But anyway, like since she hasn't been here, I've hardly been sick at all. I haven't lost my voice in a couple of years either. Because normally around this time of year, if you've been around for a while, you know there's been a couple of times where I've had to not been able to put videos out because I haven't had a voice for a couple of weeks, or it comes back and it's like super scratchy. And it's like, yeah, or I'm whispering down the microphone trying to get my point across, and it's just like, yeah, this is not working. It's funny, or you think your voice has come back and you're talking away, and then all of a sudden you like this little squeak. You got no voice. But Mia got really sick a couple of weeks ago, and ended up getting hospitalized. And she's fine. Everything is fine. But apparently she ended up with bird flu. Where she picked that up from, I do not know. Even her mum's like, I don't know where she's been and where she's picked that up from. So, but she ended up getting hospitalised because the GP gave her the wrong medication, gave her Tamiflu, which is not what you give kids, and it made her worse. Her temperature didn't go down. It was up for an extended period of time, and I've got to take her to the hospital. And I'm like, yeah, because, her temperature was at 40.1 at one stage, and I'm like, man, she's getting close to a febrile convulsion. Like, I think you need to take her to the hospital. And she's like, yeah. And then, like, I think it was like 20 minutes later, I'm taking her to the hospital. So obviously she thought about it. And, so she was not well. They kept her in, I think they kept her in for 12 hours. They didn't keep her in, I think she got home about midnight, because she wasn't going to get any sleep at the hospital or whatever, but they observed her. They got her temperature down. They managed to get her temperature down. They got fluids into her and all that sort of stuff. And she was very alert and everything when they let her go. But she ended up having, this was just before the school holidays, so she ended up having the last week off school because she was so sick. So, yeah, it was just like, oh my goodness, that's scary stuff. That she got so sick. And like Darvanalee was really worried too, because she's like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, there's nothing you can do except give her Panadol and just keep a cold compress on her forehead, try and keep her cool and all that sort of stuff. There's not a lot you can do until that temperature comes down. So yeah, she was very lethargic, as you generally are after you've had a really high temp and whatnot. So she was very lethargic and she was just sleeping all the time, and which concerned Darvanalee because Mia's not a sleepy person. Although she does have afternoon naps and all that sort of stuff, and she goes, "Oh, I'm not tired," and then you turn around and she's snoring. I'm like, yeah, you're not tired at all, are you? But she's growing up so quickly. She's got we've changed schools. I think I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. We changed schools and everything is going really well at the new school. She's really happy. She's back to her bubbly self. She's made lots of friends. She's doing all the things, which is absolutely fabulous. So I'm pretty happy about that. All right, I've spent a good amount of time prattling on here. I am going to continue doing this, but I'd just like to say thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. And if you haven't yet done so, hit that subscribe button, the little bell icon beside it, and that way you're not going to miss out on any future posts. And if this is something that you like and you'd like to see some extra content, including and not limited to block of the months and bag making and sewing tutorials, and also early access to all of the videos, then hit the subscribe button and then head on over to our Patreon and you will find all that information over there. But that is it for me today. Have a wonderful day, everybody. I hope you get lots of crafting in, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.